Your mouth looks good when you say the word. I know you've been wanting to hear. It's understood when the day is over. You'll train your thoughts to me. I want you in my city. I want you in my city. Church of Maria, saw your pillars down. The gods have left your town. Broke up a lot, knocked your pillars over. No, they won't set you free. I want you in my city. I want you in my city. Skies of velvet blue, purple and iron beach, carbon yellow moon, somewhere by the sea. Dreamed of an elephant floating on the rock. Sold the solar peanuts to a herd of donkeys. And I want you in my city. 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 Your mouth tastes good when you say the word. I know you've been wanting to hear. It's understood when the day is over. You'll train your thoughts to me. I want you in my city. I want you in my city.
Thank you.
There's a story that's been going around in the opera world for a couple hundred years. It's a story about Richard Wagner, the famous German opera composer that opened Bayreuth. When he opened Bayreuth, the opera house in Germany, he wanted deutsche Musik für das deutsche Volk. He wanted German music for the German people. However, this was in a time of late bel canto, so we had a height of Italian opera singing. So Wagner wanted this Italian singing for his German music, and he wrote one of the most famous voice teachers of the era, Manuel Garcia, an Italian-trained opera coach, who was living in England at the time, and said, "Would you please come down to my house in Bayreuth and teach my singers how to sing?" Manuel Garcia wrote back, said, "No, I'm not particularly interested in teaching German music. I teach Italian music, sorry." So Wagner did the second thing he could do, which was his cousin was an opera singer, a soprano, and he said, "Why don't you go study with Garcia for 3 years, learn everything you can about opera, and then come back and teach my house how to sing." So she went to England, and she studied with Garcia for 3 years, learned everything she could about opera, and then she had a fantastic world opera career and never went back to Bayreuth. So Wagner was stuck with a problem that was coming at the time of the Enlightenment, and Germans being Enlightenment thinkers used this manner of thinking to approach this problem. And they looked at a human voice. And they looked at a singer and said, all right, well, when a singer sings, what happens? Well, okay, so they breathe, and then certain things move. Well, what moves? Okay, well, this moves. Sure. So then if we look at this and we see that it moves, and logically, if we move this, then we get support. We get a supported singing. Absolutely wrong. Couldn't be more wrong. And in fact, it brought on the German technique, which is why a lot of people, when they're in choir, learn how to breathe through their belly. I think a lot of us have heard this. But actually you can't. There are no lungs in your belly. You can't breathe through your belly. So much of rational thinking seems to be a path that makes so much sense, but actually it goes so much against the natural, the intuitive, the emotional.
Exactly. We're Blondblackblonde. We come from New York, from Belgium and from Latvia, and we're here to talk a little bit about one of the most important things in our lives, something that keeps us inspired every single second, something that gets us through harder times, and more related to music subject, something that keeps us in the flow of constant inspiration, and something that gives us ideas and new melodies, new rhythms, new concepts, and so on. And that's basically purely a state of mind, and we call it being the instrument of the unknown.
People often have asked us how we write songs, how this creative process works. Is there someone in charge, or is there like a certain formula that we follow? And this seems to be a very hard question to answer for us. And we recently found out why that is. And it's because we don't know ourselves. This fact, this unknown thing, is also what kind of drives us and what makes it so nice for us to write music, because there's this mysterious factor about it. Of course, there's like, on a rational level, some things to be said, like most of the time somebody comes with an idea, and on top of that idea we build other layers, other ideas, which lead us to other ideas, and those possibilities lead us to yet other ideas, and so on and so forth. And in the end we have so many like elements and so many ideas, musical ideas, and then we have to kind of structure them, and we like to do this in a very intuitive way, and actually almost let the ideas itself choose with which other ideas it wants to connect, because we look at ideas as being persons that just like real persons connect to like some other persons for some strange reason. And the combination of all these meetings between ideas forms a kind of community of ideas, which we like to see a song as being a community of all those ideas. And to get to this very pure form of creation, we like to see ourselves as an instrument of the unknown.
Yeah, I really like what you said about the making communities of ideas, because of course there's a lot of people who form friendship rationally. There are people like that, but we all know that the best friendship happens when you don't think about like, okay, I need a friend who is a basketball player and who earns 5,000 euros a month. You know, you don't think like that. It just happens. You just let it happen. So I don't know. I just felt like adding that. It's nice. And yeah, and that's what we've tried to do as well sometimes, to like create a song from a really rational point of view, like a rational state of mind. And yeah, we've just discovered that it never works. Like, I mean, it works in a certain way. It's still a song, and it sounds, and there's like elements and stuff, but there's no somehow the meaning, the magic. So,
you know, people often think of artists as what we say in Dutch. In Amsterdam, we say aan de rand. It's on the edges. But of course, on the edges is where things expand, where we learn how to grow. This idea of being the instrument of the unknown is something that is applying to society right now. One of our partners says that the digital revolution isn't a change in media, but a change in behavior. And where do we see this behavioral change? Well, we're gamifying a lot of our daily processes in life, things that seem mundane or not so interesting, we're making interesting. Businesses are changing, especially startups, their hierarchical process. They're taking away this idea of the people on top planning everything and the people on the bottom carrying out those plans, but actually the people on the bottom making something and then changing those plans. Even something like Facebook, which we also all see as a fantastic social network, actually the way that Facebook was created is also a big process of trial and error. They put things out and they allow them to fail, and based on those failures, they find success. So this idea of what music is actually trying to teach us is something that the world is very much, I think, trying to teach itself at this moment. And in that way, the rand, the outside of expansion in this musical world can be a guiding beam for society.
Yeah, so we want to do a little experiment. We've never done this before. You are our guinea pigs. We're gonna write a song here on the spot in front of you, in front of the cameras and everything. And just to show you a little bit how this creative process works, and we hope it will inspire you to use elements of this in your daily lives.
And if we don't finish the song, because we only have a couple of minutes, then we'll finish it later and we'll put it on YouTube, and you can watch the second half then or something.
Because normally it takes a long time for a song to finish. It's at least 3 minutes.
Twist of your mouth began the end. Seem the reason, no, my friend, through perhaps the horned instrument. Oh, love makes love and fear makes love. I'll make you a statue with moves, honey jars. And the first look is hesitant, with my heart in its loading present. Yeah, they told me it was abstract, but I knew what they were meaning by that. They were meaning, they were meaning we were free. They were meaning we were free. into the resonance behind the nasal bone, including all the human cavities that are in the brain, thrown upon the floor. Thought it would be enough to say you might know the way, know it'd be of late. With my heart loading itself into the eye, and my feet stomping at the beat of the clouds in the sky. They say they were meaning it, but what they were meaning free. They say they were meaning it, but what they were meaning free. Love makes love, fear makes love. That final look of hesitance is your eye coming down to the TED conference at the little sound of some penitence of what we were makes free of what we mean to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We were Blondblackblonde.
Thank you.